Hi, it's Kelly with Coffee Cups and Books, and today I'm going over my August wrap up. But first, the coffee cup of the day. It's one that my husband got when he was working at Starbucks. It depicts the original Starbucks there on Pike Place Street in Seattle. And you can see it was 1971 when it was opened. I think it's street. I don't know. It could be Pike Place Avenue. I have no idea. I've never been there. So if I'm wrong, I apologize. But anyway, it's a fun little cup. So for my August wrap up, I've decided to go in alphabetical order. I thought that would be fun. Let's change it up a little bit. So the first book I read was The Angel's Game by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. And this is the second in the Cemetery Forgotten book series. So yay! Continue with the series. I'm excited. This book is about David Martin, who is a writer in Barcelona. He is currently writing like pulp fiction type things under a pseudonym, so no one really knows about him. But then he is approached by a mysterious rich guy who's like, I need you to write this particular book for me and I will pay you a lot. And so David's like, yeah, sure, because he doesn't have money. And you meet all kinds of different characters and a lot of things happen, kind of crazy things sometimes. And he realizes that it's all kind of like connected. And so it's him trying to investigate and figure out what's going on. I did like this book. I would say 3.5 stars. I enjoyed The Shadow of the Wind a lot more. I gave that book 5 stars. Yeah, this one, I think maybe I just had too high of an expectation because I was expecting it maybe to be kind of like The Shadow of the Wind in terms of like how good it was. And it was fine. It really is a good book, but I definitely like The Shadow of the Wind more. I will continue with the series because I want to read Fedimine's book. So, and I don't know if that's book 3 or 4. I'll have to find out. But yeah, The Angel's Game. So I'm excited that I continue with the series. The next book I read, I do not own. I borrowed it from the library, and that is Blood in the Water by Tiffany D. Jackson. It is a middle grade horror book, and when I checked it out, I didn't know it was middle grade. But that's okay. Nothing wrong with middle grade. But it's about Kaylani, who is invited to spend the summer with some family friends up in Martha's Vineyard. And while she's there, she's trying to fit in because everyone there is rich, and she is not. And she's trying to fit in and find friends. Well, in the course of the summer, a boy that she met dies, and everyone thinks it's a shark attack. So everyone's like, oh, shark. Think like Jaws, I guess. But Kaylani doesn't think it's a shark, and so she investigates and figures out what's going on. It is very much a middle grade book. I will say that. Some things are just convenient, and some things I was like, I don't think that would happen. But I am not the target audience. It is middle grade, but it was good. It was good. Like I'm fine with it. I'm not going to rate it because I'm not the target audience, and I don't feel right rating a middle grade, unless I give it 5 stars, then I'll say that. But if I don't give it 5 stars, I don't want to rate it because I don't think that's fair. Because yeah, I'm not middle grade, but I did like it. So if you have a middle grade child who would like a horror book that really isn't scary, this might be it. The next book I read, I actually did not start it in August, but I finished it in August. And that is Clear Mind, Peaceful Heart by Lisa TerKeurst and like the Proverbs 31 Ministries team. It is just a series. It's 50 devotionals that you're supposed to read at night. You're supposed to read one every night. They're pretty short, but it's just about having like peace and being able to have a good night's sleep because, we worry. I think everybody does, at nighttime when you're just lying there. Like sometimes you have nights where just things pop up in your head like, oh, and this and that. And so this is about just not letting that happen and just trusting in God and having a peaceful, restful night. So yeah. The next book I read is The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. And I'm excited to have finally read this. I think, was this on my June TBR? No, July TBR. This was on my July TBR. I didn't make a June TBR. For a booktube, I started in June. I think this was on my July TBR, but I finally finished it. I read it in August. And I'm glad I did. This is about a young girl. She's 14, Aunt Barbara, and she disappears from a summer camp one night. But the thing is, her family owns a summer camp. And so it's a very big deal. Her family is very influential. And everyone's like, where is Barbara? And see, the thing is, a few years before, her older brother, well, he was a child at the time, also disappeared from this area. And so it's like, what is going on? And so the story, part of it takes place in that past when her brother was missing, and part of it takes place now, well, in 1975, when this happened, when Barbara goes missing. And you find out, like, you, through different point of views, you follow different point of views, which I liked. And you find out, like, what was happening and family secrets and things like that, and what really happened to these two siblings. So I liked it. I thought it was good. It's a good summer read because it does take place during the summer camp. So I suggest this for the summer. So yeah, to me, when I looked at it, I was like, oh, is this a fall book? But then you find out, you're like, oh no, it's a summer. So yeah, I suggest this for the summer. I would probably give this, I think I gave it 4 stars. So yeah, 4 stars. The next book I read. So I've got my thing over here because I don't own all the books I read. So I'm going to make sure I don't skip any. The next book I read is The Inheritance of Orquídea Divina by Zoraida Cordova. This is the story of Orquídea Montoya, who is the matriarch of a large family. And she sends her relatives a letter inviting them to her funeral, pretty much. And she says she has something to give them. And so they all go. And it's very mysterious because they all know Orquídea has like magical, mystical powers. And some of them believe that and some of them don't. But anyway, they go and things happen. And she blesses them. And some of them also kind of get powers from her. And a few years go by. And they realize some of the members of the family are being killed off, and they know something is going on. At first, they think it's just accidental, but then they realize something's going on. And so a lot of them get together to try to figure out, like, how to stop it, what's going on. And so some of them go to Ecuador, which is where Orquídea is from originally, and find out more about her life that way. And part of the story takes place now, and part of the story takes place back when Orquídea was young, and you see her story from her eyes. I thought it was fascinating. I really liked this a lot. It was really interesting. Very much magical realism. So if you're not into magical realism, you will not like this book. But I liked it a lot. I loved the family dynamics. I loved seeing Orquídea's past. It was a very good book. I liked it a lot. I would say I give it 4 stars. I give it 4 stars. I liked it a lot. So, and I'm glad that I read it. And I want to read more from this author. It's my first book by her. So I did enjoy it. The next book I do not own, so I'm glad I'm looking here in my notes, is The Magician of Tiger Castle by Louis Sachar. This is about Anatole, who is the court magician for Escaveda. I was trying to remember the name. Escaveda. And it's supposed to be somewhere south of France. And at first, when he's first brought there, the king and queen thought he was great. But since years have gone by and he really hasn't done much, everyone's like, yeah, okay, he's not real. No one really likes him. He's kind of like the laughingstock of the court. Except the princess. Princess Tulia really likes him. And when she was little, she'd go visit him all the time. And they just have a close bond. Well, years go by, Princess Tulia is an adult now, well, 18 or 19, and their kingdom is under their kingdom is under economic hard times, and so they want to marry her off to a prince of a neighboring kingdom who has more money, more power. But the problem is this prince is not a good guy at all. He is awful, and the princess is in love with someone else. Someone who's not royal. And so they want Anatole to brew a potion to make her want to marry the prince. Kind of, yeah, it's icky. And so Anatole has to decide, is he going to do that, or is he going to defy the king and do what's right? And so through the book, you read that, what he does. And it's told from Anatole's perspective. I really like this book. I want to buy it because I did enjoy it a lot. I would say probably give it 4 stars. I really liked it. Maybe 4.25. I liked it a lot. It made me laugh. There are times I was angry at the system. And I was very thankful that I did not grow up in that time, like the 1600s or whenever it was. I was like, oh, yes, glad I live in 2025. So, yeah. But I did like it. I liked it a lot. So, and I haven't read one of his books since I read Holes years and years and years ago, but I do enjoy this. And I believe this is his first adult novel. So, yeah, if you are into, it's very cozy. It's a cozy, magical time. The Magician of Tiger Castle is definitely for you. And it's not very long at all. So, yeah, I borrowed it from my local library. And yeah, I'm glad I did. The next book, I need to return to my local library. I keep forgetting. Oh, I'm sorry. It is The Rainfall Market by Yu Yong Guang. This book is about Saren, a young girl who hears about the Rainfall Market. She hears about this legend where if you write a letter detailing all of your misfortunes and mail it to this abandoned house on the outskirts of Rainbow Town, you might get a ticket to the Rainbow Market. And if you do, you can go there and you can find a new future for yourself. And so she does, and she gets a ticket. And she goes, and this is about her time in the Rainfall Market and all the people she meets and the adventures she has there. I really like this book too. I want to buy it for myself. It is very good. It's very cozy as well. Sorry, my birds are very happy today, so you can hear them. But I like it because there's little illustrations of some of the different characters in the front, and I thought that was so cute. So I love this book. It's very cozy. I really liked it a lot. I would probably give this a 4 as well. I know I'm saying I love this book, but I'm not giving them 5s. Like, a book has to be, I don't know. I'm really hard. I hardly give out 5s. I should be more, not forgiving, but I don't know, lax, but it's really hard for me to give out a 5. So yeah, it really has to like, get me. But yeah, so 4s are very good. So I give this a 4, maybe 4.25. I really like the Rainfall Market. It's very Ghibli-esque, Studio Ghibli-esque. So if you like Studio Ghibli, give this a try. I definitely like it. And yeah, if you're into cozy as well, give this a try. Okay, the next book, I think, yeah, the rest of the books I do own. Yes, okay. The next book I read was Slow Dance by Rainbow Rowell. This was the winner of the August Viewer's Choice video. People voted for Slow Dance. I like this a lot too. It is about Shiloh and Carrie, 2 childhood friends who grew apart when they become adults. Well, Shiloh moves back to town and Carrie's in town for a wedding for that one of their best friends is having. And so they go and they reconnect. And through this, part of it takes place now and part of it takes place back in the 90s when they were high school students. And you kind of see where they lost touch and how close they were. And you see them now as they kind of rehash their past and look forward to the future and what the future might be for them. I liked it. I really did. Ian from Ian the Reader recommended this to me, and I'm glad he did. I really did like this a lot. I would give it 4 stars as well. Rainbow Rowell very rarely does me wrong. I really like her books. I love Landline is very good. From what I remember, I liked Fangirl, and I really like Slow Dance. So I know she's coming out with a new one called Cherry Baby, and I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, 4 stars. And it's not the last book I read. Oops. I need to drink more coffee, apparently. Let me do that. The next book I read is Too Old for This by Samantha Downing. Now, I bought this in August in the Aardvark box, and I was so happy to see it because I love Samantha Downing. I really like all of her books. This book is about Lottie, who is a retired serial killer who's just enjoying her retired life. She's living in her house. She goes to bingo at church with her friends, and she worries about her son, her newly divorced son who might be getting married. And so just living a typical life. But then someone keeps calling her and knocks on her door, and it's someone who wants to make a documentary about Lottie and her life and the past. And Lottie doesn't want that to happen. She doesn't want anybody to dig into her past. No one knows, where she lives. No one knows anything about her. They just think she's just Lottie, sweet little Lottie, who, brings spinach dip to the church bingo. And yeah, this book is so good. I had such a good reading month. I love this book. It is so good. I laughed. I was like, no. Like, I buddy read this with Ian, and he finished it before I did. And so I would text him like, what? And he's like, I know. He's like, just wait. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I enjoyed this book. I definitely give this, I'd say 4.25 stars. I liked it a lot. I will continue to support Samantha Downing. I've read everything she's ever written, to my knowledge, and I like it. I will continue to read it. I think this might be my second favorite book by her. My first is My Lovely Wife. That book shook me. Well, I was shook after I read that. That's definitely number one, but I think this is number two. I think I like this one next. So yeah, too old for this. If you want to read about a 75-year-old retired serial killer, this is it. There were times where it got a little gruesome, and I was like, oh, that's gross. But yeah, I liked it. And on a completely opposite note, a Bible study. I know. Multifaceted. There you go. I'm really not. But this is What Happens When Women Walk in Faith by Lisa TerKeurst. This is a Bible study that I did this summer, and I finally finished it in August. Yeah, and it's just about, it's for women. It's just about walking in faith in God and trusting in Him. So yeah, that's the last book I read. Yeah, very opposite from Too Old for This. But those are the books I read in August. How many books is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I read 10 books in August. I am currently in the middle of 3 books that I was hoping to finish in August, but I didn't. The first one is East of Eden by John Steinbeck. I am on chapter 15, 155 pages. So I actually was reading this, but I paused it to read Too Old for This, because Ian and I were like, yeah, we're going to read that one together. So I'm hoping to finish this in September, because Ian and I need to film our video talking about how we feel about the books we read that we recommended to each other. So yeah, I'm going to read this as my first priority. The next one is Pride and Prejudice. I meant to read this in August, but I started it too late. I'm on chapter, 19, page 148. Loving this, but I always do. Just so good. Oh my goodness. I was laughing in bed the other night. My husband's like, what? I'm like, Mr. Collins. Just, ugh. And I am also listening to The Dead Zone by Stephen King. I'm like 39% through, I think, from this morning I looked. And wow, I'm enjoying this book too. And whoo, boy, some of the characters in this book are just awful. But yeah, so I should be finishing that this week, no problem, because I've listened to it on my way to work and back. And I usually generally listen at 2 speed. So unless, if I'm listening to a nonfiction, I slow it down. But fiction I usually listen to at 2 speed. So it shouldn't take me very long. But anyway, those are the books I read in August. Please leave in the comments below what books you read in August, and if you've read any of these and what you thought of them. So yeah, please like this video if you did, and subscribe. I post videos every Monday and Thursday. And remember, life's too short to drink bad coffee, so don't do it. Bye!